Hello, Lesley.
Hi.
Hey, this is amazing. I think this is the first time we meet in this forum to chat a little bit. This is exciting. So thank you for taking the time.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
absolutely. Well, I'm really pleased to be here with you because I'm really interested in finding out why trading with Northern Ireland is different at the moment.
Yes, of course. Northern Ireland is the subject this week, at least, that we are all talking about. So you know that, I don't need to tell you because we've debated this, but since the beginning of the year 2021, trading with Northern Ireland is easy depending where you are, and is difficult if you're somewhere else. And unfortunately, it is a little bit more tricky now if you are from the same country, just a different region. Does that sound odd to you?
Well, it feels very odd, doesn't it? And I think it wasn't quite what I think we all imagined
Hmm.
was going to happen. I think we just thought, we always think of Northern Ireland as being part of the UK. And now suddenly we've got Northern Ireland and GB, and that's, makes it difficult, doesn't it, really?
It's so strange to have to say when you give advice on customs and on global trade, and also all of the clients that come and say, hey, how do we access the UK? I have to say, well, which part of the UK, right? Are you going to GB, Great Britain? Do you want to go to Scotland or Wales, or do you want to go to Northern Ireland? And then the eyes roll already because they know that this is going to be a challenge.
Well, is it a challenge though? Because some of this is sort of about process, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's more difficult than it used to be, but actually there's a process that we need to follow. And I think probably what we've got out of the habit of doing is following processes. We forget how important these are. We accept that accountants have processes and we expect them to have processes and we expect lawyers to have processes. But actually, international trade always has had them, hasn't
We
it?
always have them. I
Always
mean,
had
in
them.
the customs world, you know that without the process, how do you classify? How do you
Exactly.
determine the rules of origin? How do you file a declaration if you don't have a process to collect all this data?
Exactly.
But are you saying that I am supposed to have a process to move goods from A to B in my own country? I mean, more than the
Well,
process I have in my company. Now it looks like with this protocol of Ireland and Northern Ireland, how is it formally called? We now need to make customs declaration from Great Britain to Northern Ireland, and there are even certificates required for the food products and for other products. So
um,
it seems to be a lot of work, additional work, paperwork to move goods from A to B.
and I think that's the biggest problem, isn't it? That it is a lot of extra paperwork, and people weren't ready for it. And it isn't just that the British weren't ready for it. I'm not always convinced all of the European Union were either. I think I've seen some really excellent work coming through from Southern Ireland, where they've actually been producing things because I think they were more aware than most of what was going to happen.
Mhm.
And I think that's it. But of course, if you try and create a border in the sea effectively, this is what will happen, isn't it?
So what do you think is going to happen next? I mean, just now, and we are talking here towards the end of July 2021, we had this command paper being published, presented in the House of Lords this week by Lord Frost, where
Yeah.
he talked about the removal of any role of the EU in enforcing the protocol. He wanted a standstill to negotiate, meaning that the current easements and this extended grace period that's currently applied continues possibly for a long time. He talked about removal of customs checks and this, I don't know, some papers call it the honesty box, where I swear I will only move to Northern Ireland and
Yeah,
I will
a road
never dip
statement.
down
Yeah.
to Ireland. He wants a clear path so that we restore this hassle-free trade, and more importantly, even he wants to make sure that when a person in Northern Ireland goes online to order something from a UK company, there is no little box saying, sorry, we don't supply Northern Ireland. Surely that's reasonable.
Well, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly that we shouldn't have boxes like that, and we shouldn't be differentiating between the two. But I think the very fact that we signed this agreement so recently feels a little bit wrong, that we should suddenly say, you know, I mean, obviously we've got a huge number of advisors, and we've got, you know, specialists that work in this country for our government. It feels very odd that they didn't highlight this, and we didn't understand the implications of what we'd agreed to. Having said that, we've agreed to it. Stopping everything now, and this idea of sort of like an honesty box, is really not what customs and excise is all about. If you think about it, then, you know, then we should be able to do that anywhere we go in the world. And although within international trade we speak about utmost good faith, and we should always deal in utmost good faith, and I've seen examples nowadays of people not putting the right weights on their containers because they want to pay less for their container freight charges, so they don't put the right volume on there, or they put they go for the lowest one that they can possibly get. And then you see these fabulous photographs of, you know, containers falling off of vessels because people haven't been honest about what it is they put in them. And how do we know, when we've got a world where we still have terrorist groups and guerrilla warfare, how can we be possibly sure that a container that could be, you know, we need to know what's in that container? So we can't really, for safety and security reasons alone, we can't think about this honesty box idea.
Well, I agree. I mean, on one hand, I totally understand that we want to make the trade between our regions as free flowing as possible. Northern Ireland is in a unique situation, and Northern Ireland is not like any other region, and history tells us this, and we need to recognize this. And the fact that we all collectively decided and have agreed in international treaty that there shall not be a border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. And as a result, this is entry to the single market, to remind everyone, a market of 430 million people. Once you are in Dublin, you are effectively in France, in Greece, in Germany. And if this is seen as an obvious loophole, if the border is not closed, two questions. Number one, did we really take back control if the border is wide open? And B, which country in the world can allow its borders to be wide open? Because if we signed a deal with, you know, with countries with which the EU does not have trade agreements, well, wouldn't that be an invitation to move God knows what kind of products that we think are fit for us, but the Europeans might not agree, via the back door into the single market? So I can understand that the EU is saying the border has to be somewhere, and if it can't be between Northern Ireland and Ireland, well, then it's got to be in the Irish Sea.
Yeah, and it's a dilemma, isn't it? And I can't see an easy answer. Otherwise, I'd be earning a lot more money than I have now. But you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, we follow the protocols, we follow the compliance issues that are raised by this, and of course the government have thrown a lot of time and energy into getting this right. We've got the Trader Support Service,
yes,
which is there to help businesses get through this, and I'm just wondering whether that's being used to its utmost, and whether perhaps there should be more. Whether they could do more to help as far as the Northern Irish situation is concerned.
I agree with you. I mean, we have seen the government go to length, right? Take the political rhetoric out of it, but the TSS is a good demonstration.
£20 million to set it up. That's
yes.
When you consider that I think there were 7,000 businesses in Northern Ireland. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
To throw.
So the government is doing what they can within the protocol to support businesses, and I have seen the TSS quite up close. I was helping to train the guys that are now running this, and it's very good to see these are very committed people. so I guess the question is that the TSS will run out maybe next year. I think this is the plan.
Yeah, I think
Do
so.
you think this is going to be a reality for the long term? Do you think?
I don't think they can disband it. I don't think they can.
Do you think the EU will allow us to renegotiate? Will we trigger this famous Article 16 because the situation, according to the government's own command paper, is quite bleak and constitutes exceptional economical difficulties? Do you think this is going to get escalated in this way, or is the long-term vision and answer that businesses can prepare for just get on with it?
It's a very difficult question, that, because the issue, of course, is also that Europe has to carry on with being Europe as well. They can't spend all their time working with the UK, worrying about our concerns, when actually they've already, in their head, they've done Brexit. That was finished, and they've agreed it all. It was signed off. We said we'd done it. They said they'd done it. But now suddenly it's not done.
Well, we could go on forever, right? We can agree this, and then we can agree this, and we can open the box again, and start again and start again. Exactly. I mean, this is taking so much energy and bandwidth, and I wonder sometimes. I hear from the government that the Northern Ireland Protocol is not working. I hear that from some voices in Northern Ireland as well. But are we really hearing this from Northern Ireland as a whole, or are there businesses that say we will get on with it? Point one, when we trade with GB, and in the meantime, we will be thankful for the fact that we have access to the EU single market with no paperwork, because they have the best of both worlds. They are not in the EU, if that's what you like, and get free access to one of the largest markets in the world. I mean, that's got to mean something.
I wonder whether perhaps we should move out to Northern Ireland and start a business there and start getting behind them, because
you must have an ex-IAORI number, huh? Don't forget.
But I really believe that there is huge opportunity here, and I think just stopping and realizing we've got to get on and do this is rules are rules, and the Brits are normally very good at following rules. It feels odd that they don't accept them, but I'm sure we'll be able to talk about this again in another few weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a rolling subject. Well, look, it was fantastic to talk to you today. It was so good to hear your opinion, and as always, very elegantly put. It's as I always say, it's a pleasure to work with you. It's a pleasure to know you and converse with you in these very special, unique times that we surely will not forget in our lifetimes.
Right, and obviously I have a high regard for Customs Manager and all the work you're doing, and just keep up that good work.
Yes, together we'll make it. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Bye then.
Bye.